Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
King Richard.
Yeah.
What do you know about King Richard?
Wow, question without notice. But I do happen to know a lot about King Richard. King Richard was only king for a couple of years. But in those years, actually, I'm going to have to look up what the years were for.
Mm-hmm.
Like he died in 1485 at the Battle of Bosworth. But they found his body underneath a ring road car park in Leicester. Yep. Obviously, he wasn't buried under a car park. When he was buried, there wasn't a ring road or the shops at Leicester. But it was slight ignominy to think, they're digging up a parking lot and, there's a monarch. And also, he was depicted in Shakespeare 100 years after his death as a hunchback. So he was kind of mocked for his body. And yet, when they found his body, they could see that he wasn't a hunchback. So he'd had no curvature of the spine. So he wasn't the character that Shakespeare had portrayed him to be. So first of all, he's depicted right throughout history as a hunchback and found under a car park. So apart from that, things are really going well.
You don't really get the hunchbacks anymore, do you?
No. I guess we have surgery. What was curvature of the spine? We now have scoliosis treatment.
Yeah, you got braces and all these things that you can wear and gifted scientists and things like that. And this is in your wheelhouse as well, because news about King Richard, sure we know what he looks like, but on your boyfriend's news last night, Pretty Boy Ferguson, more King Richard news.
We already know what he looked like, but thanks to advancements in technology, we now know what King Richard III sounded like. Some 500 years after his death, scientists have reconstructed the late monarch's voice.
Prince of Wales and Earl of Chester, to have charge of those parts and to govern them and defend them.
After his remains were unearthed in a car park more than a decade ago, researchers worked with forensic psychologists, dentists and speech therapists to map out his voice right down to his strong Yorkshire accent.
Forensic psychologist Anita McGregor, your colleague for AA Chattery, that's what she does. She's worked that out.
Well, not really. That's not the work she does. So he's been vilified as a hunchback. And when I say vilified, he was, I think, portrayed by Shakespeare as not a nice character and kind of a strange king. I wonder if he's going from the grave. That's not my voice either. Get it right.
Well, that's what science told me.
Well, I'll tell you what else science has been. Well, this was a few years ago. This sort of mapping out the vocal cords to hear what people sounds like. What people sounds like. They sounds like me. Isn't new. In 2020, they tried to work out what an Egyptian priest from 3,000 years ago would sound like. So they got this guy, Pharaoh. His name was Nesimum. And they reproduced the same thing. They looked at his vocal cords and worked out how he would have sounded. So he was alive between 1099 and 1069 BC. And this is what he sounded like.
Scientists were able to mimic Nesyamun's voice by recreating his mouth and vocal cords with a 3D printer. It allowed them to produce a single sound.
No, okay. Is that it?
That's it.
Wow.
They went to all that trouble and got that. And they've said he would have had to have a loud voice because he had to command troops, etc. Can we hear it one more time?
That's science. That's what we're doing in the future. That's what's happening now, as I said, on this day in 2024, because we already know what Julius Caesar sounded like.
What did he sound like?
I have a very great friend in Rome called Bigger Stickers.